people in charge aren't even human. According to researchers, the world's elite, from presidents to royalty, are actually shape-shifting reptilian aliens who have controlled humanity for millennia. And in 1964, our own government made a secret deal with another alien species, the Greys, to trade human lives for technology. This isn't science fiction. This is the conspiracy theory that explains everything from abductions to assassinations. And by the time they found out the truth, it was already too late. According to one theory put forward by David Icke, humanity is actually under the control of shape-shifting alien reptiles who require periodic ingestion of human blood to maintain their human appearance. Reportedly, the Bush family and the British royal family are actually such creatures, and Diana, Princess of Wales, was aware of this, presumably relating to her death. The proponents claim a number of evidence ranging from Sumerian tablets describing the Annunaki, which he translates as those who from heaven to earth came, to the serpent in the biblical Garden of Eden, to child abuse and water fluoridation. A variant tells that particular technologies, notably the transistor, were given to American industry in exchange for alien dominance. The enforcers of the clandestine association of human leaders and aliens are the Men in Black, who silence those who speak out on UFO sightings. This conspiracy theory has been the basis of numerous books, as well as the popular television show The X-Files and the movies Men in Black and Men in Black 2. In the far distant past, around 240 million BC, an intelligent technological species of theropod did evolve on Earth. This species developed space travel and established colonies in nearby star systems. The asteroid impact that apparently occurred 65 million years ago devastated this civilization, as well as nearly destroying the entire ecosystem. With their home civilization on Earth devastated, the colonies were left to evolve on their own. It would be likely that the Earth would be monitored, and as the ecosystem recovered, these reptoids would resume operations on Earth. Given the distances and effort involved to move resources back to Earth, it is likely that a need to augment the local workforce with a native labor force that could accomplish the more menial and laborious tasks. A simple means of acquiring this labor would be to utilize local terrestrial stock and genetically alter this stock as necessary to accomplish these goals. This idea is not without precedent, since mankind itself has done this with horses and other domesticated livestock. It is likely that this is how modern man was developed. Given the current status of humanity, it is likely that problems arose almost immediately with this race. Simply put, they could not overcome the instinctive, aggressive, and independent nature of the base stock. It was because of these problems that another subservient race was developed. This race, however, was not derived from local stock, but was engineered from scratch to fill the need and to overcome and prevent the problems encountered earlier. The result of this effort was the Greys. It was discovered that for certain tasks, the independent nature of humans was a desirable trait, and also these humans proved to be an ideal host for the gestation of the Greys' fetus. Therefore, although the Greys replaced humans for most tasks, humans were continued to be utilized within the society on a limited basis. It is from this human group that the Adamski-Meyer humans might be derived. After a time, the interest in Earth declined, and only a small observation post was left in operation. Mankind was therefore left to develop on Earth with only occasional interaction with its former inhabitants. In the meantime, the reptoids were continually modifying the Greys and developing specialized Greys for specific tasks. At some point, the Greys evolved enough cognitive abilities to realize their status, and it is this faction of Greys that is active on Earth, attempting to overcome their built-in limitations. It is the remoteness of Earth that allows this group of Greys the required freedom of action. To gain sustenance, these Greys must obtain certain nutrients, and the simplest and most direct means is to mine them from local fauna. Females are taken, the DNA evaluated, and if acceptable, the female is tagged for future recovery. Males are also evaluated, and if suitable, tagged for future recovery. Some of these males may be used to impregnate current stock of host females in order to assure the transfer of desirable traits to future hosts' females. Other activities involve evaluating the nervous and other systems and tissues in order to optimize the ongoing development their crossbreeds capacities. The Greys have several ongoing problems. The need to increase their number as quickly as possible. As their population increases, more support facilities are required and must be developed. This diverts needed resources from the effort of obtaining self-sufficiency. Also, as more excursions are required to obtain the suitable containers, the likelihood that their purpose will be discovered and coordinated native interdiction initiated increases. Also, the sheer numbers required to continue the breeding operation mandates that they seek hosts in more densely populated areas. As the local military capabilities become more sophisticated, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain covert activities. The master race may arrive and intervene at any time. The governments that are aware of their presence may discover the true purpose of their activity and attempt active intervention. On April 30th, 1964, the first communication between these aliens and the U.S. government took place at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. 3 UFO landed and a meeting was held between the aliens and intelligence officers of the U.S. government. During the period of 1969-1971, MJ-12 representing the U.S. government made a deal with these creatures called EBEs, extraterrestrial biological entities named by Detley Bronk, original MJ-12 member and 6th president of Johns Hopkins University. The deal was that in exchange for technology that they would provide to us, we agreed to ignore the abductions that were going on and suppress information on the cattle mutilations. The EBEs assured MJ-12 that the abductions, usually lasting about 2 hours, were merely the ongoing monitoring of developing civilizations. The US government was not initially aware of the far-reaching consequences of their deal. They were led to believe that the abductions were essentially benign, and since they figured the abductions would probably go on anyway, whether they agreed or not, they merely insisted that a current list of abductees be submitted on a periodic basis to MJ-12 and the National Security Council. By the time we had found out the truth about the intentions of the Greys, they intend to stay here and stay in control of our world, it was too late. We had already sold out humanity. Not that it would have made any difference, because they were here doing what they were doing anyway. In 1983, a story was outlined by government sources that said that the Greys are responsible for our biological evolution through manipulation of the DNA of already evolving primates on this planet. Various time intervals of the DNA manipulation were specified for 25,000, 15,000, 5,000, and 20,500 years ago. Originally, the government thought that the Greys meant us no harm, but today in 2012, the picture that is emerging is exactly the opposite. Conclusion: the Reptilian Conspiracy, a dark mirror of human fear and power. The theory that humanity is under the control of shape-shifting reptilian extraterrestrials, popularized by David Icke and woven into a complex tapestry of ancient mythology, modern conspiracy, and speculative science, represents one of the most provocative and polarizing narratives in alternative discourse. It is a story that taps into primal fears of predation, manipulation, and loss of autonomy, while also reflecting deep-seated distrust of elite institutions, from governments and monarchies to corporate and scientific establishments. Whether interpreted as literal truth, psychological allegory, or cultural myth-making, the reptilian hypothesis forces a confrontation with uncomfortable questions about power, identity, and the nature of reality itself. The Ickean framework, elites as shape-shifting predators. At the heart of David Icke's theory is the claim that a hidden hierarchy of reptilian beings, descendants of the ancient Annunaki, or a surviving theropod civilization, controls global affairs through bloodline families like the Bushes and British royals. These entities allegedly sustain their human disguises through rituals involving human blood, adrenochrome, or other substances, echoing vampire folklore and occult traditions. Icke's narrative draws on Sumerian texts, biblical symbolism, the serpent in Eden, and modern scandals, e.g. Princess Diana's death, to construct a grand, unified conspiracy that explains everything from war and economic inequality to cultural manipulation. This theory resonates because it provides a simple, albeit terrifying, answer to complex problems. human suffering is not accidental, but engineered by non-human intelligences with malicious intent. It externalizes evil, allowing followers to attribute societal ills to a monstrous other rather than to human frailty or systemic flaws. The sci-fi evolution from ancient theropods to gray hybrids. A more science fiction-oriented variant of the reptilian theory posits that an advanced theropod species evolved on Earth millions of years ago, achieved space travel, and then faced near extinction from the asteroid impact that killed the dinosaurs. Surviving colonies returned to Earth later to genetically engineer humans as a labor force, followed by the creation of the Greys, a subservient race designed for specific tasks but which eventually rebelled. This narrative blends paleontology, genetics, and UFO lore into a speculative prehistory that mirrors humanity's own fears of artificial intelligence and genetic manipulation. In this version, the Greys' abduction and hybridization programs are not merely sinister, but a desperate bid for survival. They need human genetic material to overcome their own biological limitations and avoid extinction. This adds a layer of tragic inevitability to their actions, casting them as both antagonists and victims of their own design. The government complicity narrative, MJ-12 and the Faustian bargain. The claim that the US government made a secret pact with the Greys at Holloman Air Force Base in 1964, exchanging technology for permission to abduct citizens, is a cornerstone of modern UFO conspiracy theory. This story, echoed in documents like the alleged MJ-12 papers, suggests that authorities knowingly sacrificed human well-being for technological advancement, only to realize too late that the aliens intended conquest, not cooperation. This narrative feeds into distrust of governmental secrecy and the military-industrial complex, framing them as collaborators in a silent invasion. The notion that abductions are linked to cattle mutilations and adrenochrome harvesting further ties the theory to broader conspiracy landscapes, including satanic panic and elite pedophilia rings. It creates a cohesive, if horrifying, worldview where nothing is as it seems and no institution is trustworthy. Why these theories persist? Psychological and cultural roots. Reptilian and gray conspiracy theories endure because they address fundamental human needs. Cognitive simplicity. They offer a single explanation for diverse phenomena, from historical events to personal misfortunes. Moral clarity. They define a clear enemy, providing a focus for anger and frustration. Existential comfort. They transform a chaotic, indifferent universe into one where events are controlled by intelligences, however malevolent, rather than by chance. Cultural resonance. They draw on ancient archetypes, serpents, demons, tricksters, and modern media tropes, e.g., The X-Files, Men in Black, making them familiar and compelling. Moreover, these theories often serve as metaphors for real-world issues. The reptilian elite symbolizes unaccountable power and wealth inequality. The abduction phenomenon reflects anxieties about loss of bodily autonomy, e.g., medical trauma, surveillance. The government cover-up embodies distrust of authoritative narratives and control of information, a call for discernment between myth and reality. While the reptilian hypothesis is dismissed by mainstream science and academia as pseudoscience, its cultural impact is undeniable. It challenges us to question official stories and consider the possibility that history is far stranger than we've been taught. However, it also carries dangers. Paranoia and division. It can foster hatred toward perceived elites or others, potentially justifying violence. Distraction from real issues. Focusing on extraterrestrial threats may divert attention from tangible problems like climate change, corruption, and social injustice. Exploitation. Fear-based narratives can be used to manipulate followers financially or ideologically. Ultimately, the reptilian conspiracy is a dark mirror reflecting humanity's deepest fears of being controlled, consumed, or rendered insignificant. Whether literal or symbolic, it reminds us that the quest for power and the fear of the unknown are eternal aspects of the human condition. As we navigate an era of disinformation and existential uncertainty, the greatest threat may not be reptilian overlords, but our own willingness to surrender critical thinking for comforting fictions. What do you think? Are these theories warning signs of hidden truths, or are they psychological projections of collective fear? Share your perspectives below. The truth may lie not in the stars, but in our ability to discern fact from fantasy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. I love hearing from you. Check out more videos on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.